Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic / non-classic. This episode number 2592 and Doubleshot 2486. This one's going to be quite interesting. It's not some trade, not eventual issues. It's basically a bunch of specials and annuals, all for Punisher. The first one we're talking about is the Punisher Summer Special. Yep, which basically this is the second of 4 they ever released. Yes, they released 4 of these damn things. There's a few stories in here. The opening story is by Pat Mills. The second story is by Chuck Dixon. And the third story is also by Chuck Dixon as well. Mostly put in the case the first story is turn of Colonel DeSade who gets killed off in the story. Because all this book is basically Punisher just killing thugs. A lot of this it's standard Punisher fare. But it's fine. Pat Mills himself is not that known of a writer. I mean, he's wrote like 100 comics. Wow. For Marvel, seems like basically he worked on mostly for Doctor Who stuff, but it is like the only thing he worked on. After working on these 2 specials, he would later work on a book that people do know about. Well, hardcore comic fans know about this one. That being Punisher 2099. Yep, he worked on this book. I believe for the whole run. Yes. And he also worked on another book I'm going to talk about in just me. He also worked on apparently all 3 specials. Yes, he also worked on the very next special, which I'm not going to talk about this one because... Now, in the case of special number 2, I forgot to talk about this before, so I'll talk about it first. Now, in the case of the other 2, now, the second one came out, third one came out in June of 1993. Special number 2 came out in June of 1992. Yeah, basically, like, I actually forgot to talk about this one before, so that's what I'm talking about now. But the reason I want to talk about 3 because basically the issues haven't got that for you. So, it's an okay special. I'm going to book roughly 8 out of 10. Next up, basically, is the holiday special. Yes, we have a holiday special for the Punisher because apparently Punisher's got specials. He's got lots and lots of specials. Oh my freaking god, yes. Now, for some strange reason, I do not know why this is. Apparently, Marvel decided not to include these specials in the Epic Collections. Don't know why. That's why I'm reviewing them here. Now, the holiday special is written by Stephen Grant. He writes the opening story, Ray Christmas, and the backup story is by Eric Flynn. It's mostly put basically Punisher Christmas time, killing a couple of bugs. Randy Kessler and Lon Martz. Yep. So yeah, this could release around November time, so... Yep. There's also a bit of flashbacks to when Frank Castle had at Christmas with his family. That's where all it is here for the opening story. The backup story is him with the Baileys. Yeah, and there's also this one guy named Louis, this crime boss trying to eliminate this family who basically witnessed a mob murder. It's basically Punisher trying to prevent this one family becoming another version of his. That's literally what this backup story is. Next comes the Back to School special. You're thinking, a Back to School special? What? Yes, Marvel loved pumping out these damn things. And guess what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the first 2. Yep. Yeah, basically the first, at least this one I'm talking about the first 2. Yeah, basically this one just a flashback when he fought Jigsaw in the opening story, written by Chuck Dixon. The second story is Mutt Haven 1045-4, also by Chuck Dixon. Now, the other first story is Mark Nelson. The backup story is by Walter McDaniel, Greg Newsom, and Kevin Kosbick. Child's Play is Tom Beverett, who actually is a cover artist, really good one, and Mike Kervich with Alexander Morsi on the backup artwork. Back to School was Barry Dalter and Jerry Rodway. It's like in the case of Child's Play, it's mostly stuff mentioning Spider-Man. And then Back to School is, well, what the story is about. Puts people back in school. It just basically Punisher witnessing stuff. That's literally it here. This is the one basically I'm talking about 2 of these ones because why not? Next up is basically the Punisher Annual. Now the first one we're discussing 2 annuals for this one. Yep, just 2. The first one being Annual number 4, part of the System Bites crossover. Yep. Now, this might surprise you. The opening story is by Peter David. Yep. That's the first story. Vengeance Routine is by Rob Toker. Icecapade, Roger Schlock. And the 4th story, George Cogane. System Bites. What is System Bites? It's more of a cyber-style crossover. That's mostly what it is, but it's really interesting. As for the 6th one, which is the penultimate annual ever released for Punisher, well, for this volume anyways, and it would be the second last annual ever published for over a decade. Now, Volume 6 would have an annual, despite back now becoming part of numbering. Volume 7 had an annual. Did Volume 8? No. Volume 9, I think, did. Some of the volume annuals were usually just 1. Now, the opening story is by Pat Mills, again, with Stephen Grant on the 2nd story, and the 3rd story is Tracers, written by Chuck Dixon. Yep, it is mostly put. It's just, like, first one is basically Punisher taking on a guy called Eradicator 6, who only appears in this. He's basically just a robot. Yes. Eradicator 6 is a robot. Yes. You're thinking, what? Punisher dealing with a robot. Preacher is basically taking on some mobster. Thinking, okay. Tracers. Like, I wonder if basically this is a tie into the movie Tracers. And there's also a pin-up basically featuring the Black Widow. Yep. The artwork some of these ones, like, for the first story is Danny Hover. For Preacher, it's Sean McManus. And the 3rd story, some of you may have heard of this guy, Dale Ergisham. Yep. Does Punisher limit the robot in it special? Yeah, he does. He protects a woman. And that's just the opening story. Tracers looks like it's basically like Punisher in the Jungle. Looks like a war story. It's like Punisher in the Jungle eliminating probably some drug dealers. Yeah. Looks like, by appearance-wise, it's not U.S. Probably could be Cambodia, maybe. And, well, he gets him beat up, and that's it. And that's second to last and published. Now, these are very brief to talk about here. But that's kind of in a way what we got here. Just a few specials. That's it. I figured, though, why not talk about this stuff? Because, well, I'll be taking a break from Punisher for a bit. The main book, anyways. I'll be back to the main Punisher book when I get to halfway through Punisher War Journal and Punisher War Zone. That's when we'll be back to the book. I'm sorry this is very short, but this is all I gotta say about these books. Now, of the books in particular, like I mentioned, the Summer Special was okay. The Holiday Special I thought was really good. The Back to School Special, interesting. Not to really home out there. The annuals. I thought the first annual was really good. The 5th annual. 6th annual was interesting. So how to rate these 4 books? Summer Special I give 8. The Holiday Special I give that a 9. Back to School I give that 8.5. A number 5, Summer Bites, I give that a 8.5. As for A number 6, give that a 9. Yep. So yeah. Excuse me. That's gonna be pretty much a particular view, and that's gonna be it for videos tonight. So please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and please do not hit the dislike button. I am sorry, basically, I had to get these books quickly, but this is basically, I just want to talk about this book quickly and move on from this main book for a brief period of time before I come back to it. Now, tomorrow, expect to see reviews for, as of right now, just for One Piece. And there's a couple other ones. There is, One Piece is one of them. It is a One Piece, Banished in the Hero Party, and I believe that's it. Just those two. The Moonlight Fantasy one, that will probably not be released until Monday. If it comes out tomorrow, I'll watch it. If not, I'll watch it Monday. So expect maybe 2, maybe 3 interviews tomorrow. Probably some comment corners, and maybe a manga review. So, do you see you tomorrow. Bye.